This is Joe Biden, the resident of the United States. Recently, while giving remarks in North Carolina, Biden gave a shout out to the local U.S. Congresswoman.
I also want to mention Congressman Deborah Ross. Where's Deborah? I just had my picture taken with her. That's probably why she left. No, all kidding aside. Anyway, she couldn't be here, actually. That's not true. I got it mixed up. Joe Biden called out to a congresswoman who wasn't there, claims that he saw her moments before, and then had taken a picture with her. That's not a mix-up. That's straight up mental deterioration. And unfortunately, this wasn't the first time that Biden had called out to someone at an event who was not in attendance. And I want to thank all of you here for including bipartisan elected officials like Representative Governor, Senator Braun, Senator Booker, Representative Jackie. Are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here to help make this a reality.
Okay, so Jackie would be former Representative Jackie Walorski. And I say former because unfortunately, she died in a car crash back on August 3rd, a whole month and a half before the conference. And you'd think that Joe Biden would know this as he put out a statement regarding her death saying, "Jill and I are shocked and saddened by the death of Congresswoman Jackie Walorski of Indiana." He's so shocked and saddened that he forgot that she died. Makes sense to me. What's your problem?
Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here.
Now, in the meantime, the only tactic that Democrats have is misdirection. Joe Biden isn't the one that's confused America. It's Donald Trump that's the confused one. No, seriously, that's what they're going with. Joe Biden's response team, that features an image of Joe Biden with demon eyes, put out a social media post featuring a video of Trump being introduced at his Fox News town hall in Iowa. And they claimed that he got lost on stage.
Former President Donald Trump, welcome. We'll do it again. Here we go.
Thank you very much.
This tweet has Trump walked slowly down a ramp energy. It's fake news. I mean, only Democrats would attempt to claim that this is anything but Trump stopping to acknowledge the audience. This is how desperate they've become, folks. And I would like to point out that Trump can walk on and off a stage all by himself, unlike Joe Biden. For example, at Joe Biden's democracy event at Valley Forge, Biden was introduced to the stage with his doctor wife, who didn't give any remarks. She just hugged a guy and went to sit down in the audience. And people found this odd. Why would you introduce someone to the stage who wasn't going to be speaking? Whatever. Nothing regarding Joe Biden ever makes any sense. But then immediately after the speech, Dr. Jill ran back up to the stage.
I understand power.
Biden spent that entire speech comparing Republicans to Confederates and white supremacists. And then he claims, "I understand power." And then he walks off the stage with the First Lady, or rather, she leads him off, like a mother does with her toddler. And here's the thing, Democrats will claim that there's nothing to see here, she's holding his hand, it's sweet. But there was only one reason why she was on that stage, and that was to prevent yet another Roomba moment. So the Biden campaign also took advantage of when Trump referred to Nancy Pelosi as Nikki Haley.
By the way, they never report the crowd on January 6th. You know, Nikki Haley, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything? Deleted and destroyed all of it, because of lots of things. Like Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people, soldiers, National Guard, so whatever they want.
Am I going to defend it? Not really. It was a weird flub for sure. But the fact is that no one actually believes that Donald Trump thinks that Nikki Haley was the Speaker of the House. But honestly, if Biden's campaign wants to promote this moment in an effort to attack Trump, it's 100% fair game. However,
And by the way, have you noticed he's a little confused these days? He apparently can't tell the difference between Nikki Haley and Nancy Pelosi.
there's an old proverb: people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. It's one thing for his campaign to point out Trump's mistake, but Joe Biden, of all people, has no right whatsoever to criticize anyone for confusion, a thing that happens to Joe Biden on the daily. Here he is in Las Vegas at a campaign event.
You know, right after I was elected, I went to what they call a G7 meeting, all the NATO leaders.
So according to Joe Biden, Japan is a member of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. That's a new one. Of course, Joe Biden, the leader of the free world, is confusing the G7 with NATO. Two very different things. Nothing to see here, guys.
And I sat down and I said, America's back. And Mitterrand from France looked at me and said, you know, how long are you back for?
Mitterrand. Joe Biden claims that he had a conversation with Francois Mitterrand, who hasn't been the president of France since 1995 and died 28 years ago. And you will not be surprised that this is not the first time that he's made that claim. According to an official White House transcript from a private campaign fundraiser in November 2022, Biden said, "And I sat down and I said, America's back. And Mitterrand looked at me and he said, it is? No, I'm serious. And he said, for how long?" And Mitterrand isn't the first dead world leader that Joe Biden claims he spoke to since he became the resident.
I sat down for this 3-day conference and I said, America's back. And Macron, president of France, turned to me and said, for how long? For how long? They made a discussion with Schmidt and all that. I mean, just for how long?
So Biden claims he had a discussion with Schmidt. Who was Schmidt, you ask? That would be Helmut Schmidt, the former chancellor of West Germany, who left office in 1982 and who passed away in 2015.
He's a little confused these days.
Dark Brandon can scream about Trump's mental acuity all he wants, but the majority of Americans are infinitely more concerned with Joe Biden. A recent NBC News poll found that 76% of voters had major or moderate concerns regarding Joe Biden's mental and physical health and his ability to be president. And Joe Biden claiming that he recently spoke to a world leader that died 26 years ago isn't helping Biden's case. Here's Fox News' Peter Doocy.
How is President Biden ever going to convince the 3/4 of voters who are worried about his physical and mental health that he is okay, even though in Las Vegas he told a story about recently talking to a French president who died in 1996?
I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole with you,
Why-
sir.
What is
We're
the
going to
rabbit
go.
hole?
Go ahead.
He said
go
he
ahead.
talked to Mitterrand.
Go ahead.
in-
You saw the president in Vegas, in California. You've seen the president in South Carolina. You saw him in Michigan. I'll just leave it there. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, we've seen him, Karine. And that's the problem. For example, here's Joe Biden talking about a potential deal to get the remaining American hostages out of Gaza.
There is some movement, and I don't want to, well, maybe choose my words. There's some movement. There's been a response from there's been a response from the opposition, but yes, I'm sorry, from Hamas.
Anyway, just 3 days after the Mitterrand incident in Las Vegas, Joe Biden visited New York City to attend multiple private campaign fundraisers, and Jackie Heinrich from Fox News posted screenshots from the poll reporting of these events. And then Helmut Kohl of Germany looked at me and said, "What would you say, Mr. President?" So Helmut Kohl, A, hasn't been in office since 1998, and B, died while Trump was president. And to make matters worse, Joe Biden name-dropped Helmut Kohl a second time that day.
I showed up and I sat down and said, America's back. And Macron looked at me and said, for how long? How long? Not a joke. And with that, Helmut Kohl said, Joe, what would you think if you picked up the phone and picked up the paper tomorrow?
Biden and his campaign want you to believe that Donald Trump's the one with the mental issues, even though Joe Biden is the one doing things like confusing Angela Merkel, who is a woman, supposedly, with Helmut Kohl, a man who died nearly 4 years prior to when Biden claims he spoke to him. But oh my God, Trump said Nikki Haley instead of Nancy Pelosi. Call the mental hospital. Anyway, that's it for now. Follow me on X at Don't Walk Run, and while you're at it, subscribe to the channel. As always, thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time, if there is next time.